Well, good morning. Look at this. We've got ourselves a couple of buildings that have made that transition. Monarch West. There are great places to shop. Medium land value, high density tower. Excellent. So we are continuing to build that momentum as our buildings are going from medium density to high density. Excellent, excellent. The thing that's going to happen, part of that fine tuning, and we'll check when you get commercial buildings that make that transition. Sometimes they either don't have enough shoppers or they don't have enough. We need freight. Making lots of, we need freight. We need freight. So let's do this. Yeah, you can approach it in a couple of different ways. I want population. So let's dezone residential there. And I believe it was these two. No, no, just this one. This one must have just. Okay, good. So let's do that. We do have rubble. One abandoned, not rubble, but abandoned. Couldn't find work. We're in that phase where we are doing tweaks and fine tuning our zoning. One of my favorite phases of a city. All right. Jobs. We could do just a few more to help out with those freight deliveries. I need space. I'm surprised that they have not complained. The only thing that they're wanting, the industrial buildings, is for us to upgrade roads. That's the only thing that they are complaining about. Remember last episode or the episode before, I was talking about putting the high school here, but I think there are more places to put the high school than there are this depot. Let's do that. A depot does not have to be used for a specialization. It also helps to keep your industry happy. All right. Population is growing, so we're at 14,000. Let's just check a couple of things real quick. So the city is primarily green, good. A few lime greens, some yellows. That's one thing I want to check. And then I do want to check 84% approval. Okay. I saw government blink, which means, yeah, so the mayor's house. Where would the mayor live? So would the mayor be down here? Would the mayor be up here? I mean, this is a spot overlooking the city. Does it even fit? No, it fits. Maybe the mayor's right next to this landmark. Yeah, So the mayor looks out the door and sees our park. Excellent. Look, we got more buildings. I can't wait to see what this looks like when all or most of these buildings, because I want to leave a lot of open space. All right. Last episode, we put down the commuter. I want to see. Remember, there weren't any. So the tourist riders stayed about the same, which is no surprise. But we picked up 51 extra. Now we're at 63 resident riders. So that's going to go towards those two cities. There it goes. "12 passengers." I wonder if the simulation is just going to send it off into the distance, or if we can see it actually descend towards one of our two cities, two original cities. It looks like it's climbing. No, look. Or is it just coming back? Came from south. So the simulation basically just kind of teleported. Said it came from south, so it came from here. So the simulation doesn't send it down into the city. It just kind of takes it over the city, gets people, and then brings them back. Let's see how many people are on here. One person came from, yeah, so one person came from that city. Then the other thing that we wanted to check was we put down some extra concession stands, and I believe we were at 50,000 simoleons in profit. This might be misleading because we're looking at it and the park's only been open for 3 hours. So we really need to check it towards the end of the day. I'm loving this look. I am loving this. All right, but this is profitable. Profitable, good. Okay. I don't know if this city is going to make money until we get enough residents. 15,000 residents is just not it, because right now this city's really needs that tax income. I think I'm going to do just a few more industrial buildings. They may complain that they don't have enough employees, but I'm hoping that as these develop, they develop in hand with our city as it grows. All right, now. Zero students not enrolled. Do we do another? I feel confident that this area is going to stay green, but maybe this is a bit more suburban. I want to just look. I just want to look at it. I don't think I need. Well, if it's underneath here, we could do a highway. There's no guarantee that this is going to stay. We would be creating intersections really close to each other. Maybe if we bring this out a bit. If you notice, you're not hearing any sound effects. Let's draw. I'm just going to draw a road just for the sake of drawing a road. See that? We're not hearing any sound effects. Sometimes the game loads that way. You're not going to notice it through editing, but we'll be right back. Ah, there. Better. Better. Sometimes it's as if it's not loading. Whoops. It's as if it's not loading all of the game files. All right, now let's try this again. I don't think I want to go too heavy here. And the only reason I did a highway is because it's hidden underneath here. But I think this is a good spot. Maybe another area for a landmark. I'd like to get a house of worship. And we'll get a high school. Since we discussed maybe we can, these buildings are at their max as far as the footprint. So why don't we, ooh, that's too close. Why don't we do this? Let's just look at this. I think as long as this area is high density and then this is not quite as high, and then we'll still have plenty of green nature left over. That's what I think. How do I want to do this? Do we just want to do... Maybe we leave the highway. Maybe we don't connect anything to the highway. That's not wide enough. But then again, are we going to have buildings if the if if it's not wide enough, then that guarantees that we won't have high rises. I don't want to do. Wait. Let's curve that this way. Maybe do that. I don't want to do the house of worship yet, because if we're not keeping this, the last thing you want to do is get rid of don't bulldoze the temple if you want to stay in good graces. It would be unwise to bulldoze a modern temple. Don't tempt fate by bulldozing a mosque. Just be careful. Don't bulldoze a church. You know, in all these years, that has scared. That has gotten me to the point where I have never bulldozed. Even just creating a region just for the sake of doing that, just to see what would happen. I get the feeling that if you've got disasters enabled, you get lots of disasters. That's just that's my feeling. Let's just get a feel. So that would fit. I'm thinking that this. Let's see. What will we do? The mosque. We've not done the mosque. See this road here? I think this road just takes up space. The way it's laid out. Just get rid of the whole thing. Look at the cars taking this. They're using this as a short path. We've created an intersection that wasn't there before. I think I need, because see that light? We've got two lights really close to each other. And there are some drivers that now see this as a shortcut or the shortest path. That may not be the best looking, but because it's underneath the expressway, it's not going to bother me because I can't see it. All right, let's see how this, because I'm starting to have a thought. That sure does not look good, does it? I thought it looked better. I'm really trying to avoid losing. Well, you know what? It's a commercial building. So it's not like we'd be affecting a family. So let's. So I just saw a car. I mean, I don't mind some traffic using it, but I just want to be careful. I'm kind of thinking we are. Yes, we've got this nice tourist attraction here and one here, but we really don't have a commercial slash tourist district of just heavy. We've got little spots here and there. That's probably my most dense. Yeah, that is my most dense commercial area. And I'm starting to think, before we get much further with this, do we also work on the space center? And does this become kind of a touristy, lots of commercial, more landmarks? And then do we put our house of worship somewhere else? Maybe close to the water. Might not be enough space. Not enough space. But maybe we find another spot. We cleared all of this, and I'm hesitant to put something there. See that? Ah, I don't know. We worked so hard to create all of that green area. It's not horrible though, is it? That's nice too. But I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Or do we just do a? Is there just a little bit of a road that we do? Because it's kind of our last city. Remember, we did a. It had its own little area of nature. But in that case, if we're talking about its own little area of nature, that was, that is kind of out in nature. And we've got all of this area of tree. Let's do that. Let's do that. So we've already done the church. We did the temple. I feel like that just looks too modern here. Oh, we did it. All right. Well, the sun's gone. Well, before I forget, let's give them a bus stop before, because if I wait, I'll forget. All right. All right. We'll see you in the morning. Good morning. That does not look bad there. That looks actually pretty good. We still have this whole section of trees. So yeah, it doesn't detract because I was kind of concerned, but that's a pretty significant area of this city plot that is still nature. I've been thinking, I don't know if the infrastructure, if the highway can handle it, but I just think it would be fun to see the impact of a large tourist draw, how that affects this city. I don't want to wait. I don't want to complete this city totally, because I mean, this city only 15,000. It has a lot of growing to do. We have this whole area here. I want this to develop while there is something there. I don't want to finish this city and then move on to this. I want to keep working on this city, make changes, but while those changes are happening and while we're working on it, we have something there that may even be clogging our highway. That's what I think I think that's what I want to do. We've got two cities that have plenty of money. We could send some funds. If you remember the last couple of seasons, especially last season, we bounced back and forth between cities. Is this where we bounce between two cities? One is an actual city, the other one is a staging point, and we're also bouncing to a great work. Let's send some money. I'm starting to think. Now this city doesn't have nearly the funds, but we might as well send it over here. So from here, let's send half. Or a little more than half. Let's do that. Simoleon gift. Okay, good. Always want to make sure that the simulation, I never want to leave a city. And you've seen me even save the game. Just gonna send the max. Simoleon gift sent. As you know, when we left our second city, we should have done this when we were here just a few moments ago, but when we left this city, we were at 95% researched. And in between episodes, we completed, research completed, great Space Center, great work. I just want to go over here long enough just to make sure that our funds come in. Simoleon gift. All right, good. They both came in at the same time. Nice. But I think this could be fun. So instead of building a great work just to see its influence on here, I think it's going to be fun while we're still over here, work on the great work. And then by the time we are transitioning this city plot from a staging point to a city, this is already up and running and bringing in not only tourists, but I'm talking as if we've already made that decision, which we have, but you know, tourists and that high-tech education. If you were with me a couple of episodes ago, you know that I'm pretty much, and based upon comments, we're ruling out the arcology just because of its size. Um, Maybe we'll go back to that. I've got a, just in case you didn't see that episode, I've got this same region that I'm using for tutorial purposes, and I built an arcology there for a tutorial, and the arcology just absolutely dwarfs the mountains and the volcano, I believe. So that kind of leaves us with the Space Center.